What's up, family? It's none other than your boy Jay Giddens, the father. As usual, remember to be positive, optimistic, keep positive people in your circle, baby. I just got a quick message. This is gonna be real quick, alright? I titled this video Message to Africans because I just want to say something to my African brothers and sisters out there, right? I had something pop up on my head and I immediately wanted to share it, right? Listen, I don't have a problem with the whole Pan-Africanism and people believing, in Africa and everything African. But I just want to say to y'all, understand that this is our planet, okay? If you are a carbonated being, an indigenous being, this is our planet, right? So let me give you an analogy so you can understand what I'm saying. Follow me for a second, right? So let's say you own a house, right? You got a big 3-story house, right? You and your family, y'all own this house. And somebody break in, pistol whip you, take your crib from you, right? Saying that you from Africa is like saying you from your living room in your house, right? Our planet was invaded. This is not like up for debate. This is not a question. Anybody who don't know this, just ask or find out about it so I can let you know. But the planet was invaded. We existed everywhere, not like just in Africa. That's, what I'm saying? So I want people to understand that when you saying, black people are from Africa, that's like saying your family is from your living room in your house. Like, you know what I'm saying? Grand Rising, everybody. So like I said, I just want us to get that concept and whoever this message gets to help you, expound upon your knowledge and your insight. I hope it gets to you. But just understand that when you say, all black people need to go back to Africa, we need to, get back into Africa. That's like a nigga breaking in your house, taking over your crib. And then you say, oh man, we just need to get back into the living room and everything will be cool. Africa is the living room. There we go. Africa is the fucking living room. You feel me? So if somebody breaking our house and then we trying to all get back into the living room and then we all in the living room, lock that door. We good now. We in the living room. Everything. Hey, make sure that door shut. Don't let nobody in here. Yeah, we in the living room. But they still in the other room though. They still in your crib. Like, what are you talking about? They still upstairs. They still down. You know what I'm saying? Africa is the living room. America is the dining room. Europe is the upstairs is the upstairs bedroom. You know what I'm saying? The islands is the basement. Like, you know what I'm saying? This is our planet. So like it really sounds simple to be like, black people from Africa. Like, bro, and you just have to do a little bit of research. That's all you have to do is just a little bit of research, come into contact with certain existences and certain beings that took place or that existed thousands of years ago, and they all share genetic makeup with us. You know what I'm saying? So like, I just listen. I don't know if the universe wanted me to put this out there, if the ancestors wanted me to put this out there, or what it was, but I just felt the need to do it. So I was like, let me put this out there. So for all of my people out there, I know y'all hardcore African, and first of all, African comes from a Greek derivative, right? Which is the name Scipio Africanus. I've done lectures on this. I talked about this so everybody can know. The Scipios were a famous royal family, right? You had Scipio Asiaticus, right? Which is who they named Asia after. You got Scipio, you got Scipio, Africanus, right? Which is who conquered, all of like North Africa. This is around the time, I think this was before Alexander the Great. It was around the same time as like Alexander the Great and all of them, Ptolemy, when they was going through wiping out all of Africa and Egypt and everything, right? Because Egypt is in Africa, for those who don't know. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, and I know a lot of people like to argue the whole Africa thing. They like to say that Africa actually had the original name of Alkebulan and everything. I've already deciphered that and I looked into it because I'm not one of those people where when somebody come to me and say something, I just dismiss it if it's not what I like. Supreme rising to you, Ron. So somebody did come to me and say, oh bro, you don't know what you talking about. Scipio Africanus is not really who Africa was named after. It's really named after its original name was Alkebulan or some kind of name like that, which means the garden and blah, 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 blah. Listen. Even that is still dating back to religion because you're referring to this Garden of Eden. But even more so, when you research that narrative and where that came from, that all dates back to this one Grand Master of Africa. I forget what his name is, but he's a Grand Master and all teaching stopped with him. And you're not allowed to question him, right? So he's like a living God for Africans. You know what I'm saying? So, but by the way, he has some questionable ties as it relates to Grand Masonry, as it relates to the establishment. You know what I'm saying? Just like Jesse Jackson, Martin Luther King, all of the sellouts, Rosa Parks. What's the one that made the comb and all of that to make people feel like their hair shouldn't look like this? Madam C.J. Walker, all these sellouts, right? He was one of them. So I'm not gonna take his word over what makes sense, because it doesn't make sense that there's a royal family that they worship and praise called the Scipios, right? Even listen, even a part of Africa that's called Nigeria, right? Nigeria is named after the Niger River, right? But the Niger River was named by a guy named Leon Africanus, or it was something like Leopold Africanus or Leonard Africanus. I forget what his first name was, but he was a descendant of Scipio Africanus, and he was white, and he named Nigeria, like, you know what I'm saying, like, or he named the Niger River because he was writing back to the king of Spain when he was over there conquering, and he named it that. You know what I'm saying? So, like, and when you look at these things, it can help you piece together why we just think. You say you got DNA phenotypes. I think you mean phenotypes. So how we came from Africa if we were only there. Yeah, like I said, you know, somebody said, is it Alibaba? What you mean? Oh, Alibaba? No, that's not his name. You talking about the Grandmaster teacher from Africa? No, his name not Alibaba. I forget what his name is. I did a live a while back, man. It was probably like a year and a half ago, and some African, Africanist guy jumped in there and was like, all black people come from Africa. We originate from Africa, blah, 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 blah. And I'm just like, bro, the landmass wasn't even what it is now. So that doesn't even make sense. First of all, the continents that you have, if you look back thousands of years ago, these land masses were not even set up the way that they're set up right now. This is due to the destruction of our planet when it was invaded, that there were breakoffs in the land and everything. And not to mention, the map that they show you is not real anyway. That's not even a real map, and that's not the way the planet looks. So even to believe that we came from Africa, you have to have like a European mindset. Like, you know what I'm saying? You have to really throw out any type of thinking outside of what you were told to think. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I never want to think the way I'm told to think. I want to think the way I want to think and study the way that I'm being told to think, to put one and two together, you know? Ron said facts. And at one point we didn't even give names to nature because we understood how selfish it was. Exactly. Listen, even when you look into, and like these Pan-Africanists and stuff, like, I really want to talk to some of these people and just understand, like, where are you getting, well, I guess I do kind of understand, but, you know, I want to talk to them about this whole ideology that all black people come from Africa, and like, this is where we, you know, everybody who reaches a certain level of insight understands that that's not true. Even Dr. Sebi. And y'all know Dr. Sebi preached about what? The African diet, right? He preached, hey, stop, Stormy. He preached about the African diet. He preached about the African people, right? He talked about Africanism, right? But even Dr. Sebi knew that we didn't come from Africa. See, he didn't say that because he knew people not ready for that. Like, as soon as you start talking like that, people gonna say you crazy and all of that. But he talked about the Taino, right? He talked about the ancient beings that were in what they call South America today. And he talked about how those people in Peru, even people in Peru, were just like us, right? So he understands that we don't all come from Africa, right? But where his target was, who he was trying to help, was African Americans. And in order to help African Americans, you have to give them something that they can relate to. And most black people or African Americans believe that they are from Africa. You know what I'm saying? Because they was told that they were from Africa. They have no idea that we've been here. Like, even in America, the old Native Indians, Native Americans are black people. Like, you know what I'm saying? And this is clearly out there. Like, it's not even something that's hard to find out. It's just most people are content with their knowledge and they're content with their insight, so they don't want to learn anything different. It's like religious people, you know what I'm saying? When they believe in their God and they believe in their Bible, they don't want to let that go because they got too much invested in it, you know what I'm saying? So that, unfortunately, is it's kind of like a downward spiral that you just end up in when you start holding on to beliefs that you was taught and you won't let them go. Even the same can even be said really for the conscious community, because the conscious community will learn something and then won't let it go. The example I always give is melanin, right? Because we had several leaders like young Pharaoh, right? And different leaders that spoke on us having melanin, right? So people have ingrained this in their souls. But even young Pharaoh said himself, if somebody comes behind me and finds out a piece of information that I don't have and they're able to update my information, I will be grateful for that. So even Pharaoh himself has made it obvious that he would like some sort of intellectual growth in his material, right? And I feel like that is what our acknowledgement of the fact that we have carbon is. You know what I'm saying? So I think a lot of people should try to understand that. And it's not to say that I feel like anybody's better than anybody else, but Dr. Sebi was very deep into his studies of molecular structures and chemicals and how they related to our biology. He was like a biology and chemistry major in terms of his whole life. I'm talking about 3 times the lifetime of young Pharaoh and anybody else. Like, you know what I'm saying? He was 80 something producing children, 80 something dropping to his knees. You know what I'm saying? I have a lot of respect for my ancestor, Dr. Sebi. And he made it very clear that we do not have melanin, that melanin does not exist in nature. The sun is not made of melanin. The sun is made of carbon, which is what we're made of. The sun is made of iron, which is what our blood is made out of. It's made of potassium. It's made of a bunch of different elements that exist in our body. But melanin is not one of them. And in fact, melanin is designed to fight against the sun and protect itself from the sun. That's actually the entire purpose of melanin, which is what leads me to believe that it is a small piece in the process of eugenics and creating beings so that they can survive under the sun that are unnatural, which makes me not associated with us, which are carbonated beings. But like I said, I ain't mean to go off on a tangent. I just wanted to give that as an example of, you know, the conscious community holding on to something and not wanting to let it go because they got too much invested in it. It's the same thing as religion, you know, religious people with Jesus. It's the same thing as everything else. Once you get invested in it, like for instance, I'm invested in the fact that we have carbon. If somebody was to pop up and say, bro, we don't have carbon, that's a lie. Carbon's not even blah, blah, blah. I would say, what? Well, what you mean? Tell me about it. I'm not going to be like, yeah, whatever. I said we got carbon and so we do. Like, you know what I'm saying? You got to listen and hear it. I did a whole hour and a half, 2-hour lecture on melanin and why we don't have it. But nobody even wanted to see the lecture or hear what the information is. They were just like, no, we got melanin because a lot of people said it. And, you know, Bobby Hemmett, you know, what's the one, the Nubian dude, Malachi Zork, you know, young Pharaoh. Everybody said we got melanin, so, you know what I'm saying, we got it. You know what I'm saying? But it's like a spit in the face of those who said we didn't, such as Dr. Sebi, you know, Divine Insight, you know what I'm saying? People that I respect in terms of their intellect and what they came up with, you know what I'm saying? And myself, you know what I'm saying, who I also have a lot of respect for, myself in terms of my studies and my ability to understand stuff. So look, that's all I wanted to do, was send this message to Africans that, you know, I'm not going to say that, you know, you're wrong or nothing like that, because I don't even really believe in right and wrong, but I just want you to understand that when you say that you are African and everything about you comes from Africa and all of our people are from Africa, I want you to understand that it is a very ignorant statement to make. It's just an ignorant statement to make, and it makes you look ignorant. And I really want you all to be more aware of what our situation is right now. All right. Sending you all positive vibes. To anybody who watched this back, one love. You know, I know I haven't been on here as much. I'll try to jump on here. Look, I'm just getting up. I'm about to clean the kitchen up, mop, sweep, all that good stuff. But I just wanted to jump on here and share that message. You know, it was on my mind as soon as I got up. All right. Y'all remember to be positive, optimistic, keep positive people in your circle, as those 3 things are key to ensuring positivity is invited into your future. It's your boy Jay Giddens out, baby.